Imagine waking up on Christmas Day, surrounded by your loved ones, filled with excitement and anticipation for the day ahead, but holiday celebrations for one family in North Carolina turned into a nightmare. In 1911, Charles Davis Charlie Lawson married Fanny Manring, and the couple went on to have 8 children. Tragically, their third child passed away in 1920 after falling ill. In 1918, Charlie and his family moved to the Germantown region, where they worked as tobacco farmers, and through their hard work, they were able to save up enough money to purchase their own farm on Brook Cove Road in 1927, but none could have foreseen the horrors that would unfold within its confines. It was just a few days before Christmas in 1929, when Charlie took his wife Fanny and their 7 children, Arthur, Marie, Carrie, Mabel, James, Raymond, and Mary Lou, to town to buy new clothes and have a family portrait taken. For a rural working-class family in that era, this was a rare occurrence. However, Charlie was a well-to-do farmer, making the pre-Christmas shopping excursion seem reasonable. On the afternoon of December 25th, Charlie shot and killed his 2 daughters, Carrie and Mabel, as they were preparing to visit their aunt's home. He waited for them near the tobacco barn, firing a 12-gauge shotgun before bludgeoning them to ensure they were dead. After placing their bodies inside the tobacco barn, he returned to the house and shot his wife Fanny, who was standing on the porch, and Marie, who was inside the house. James and Raymond, the 2 younger boys, tried to hide, but Charlie found and shot them. Lastly, he killed the infant Mary Lou by bludgeoning her to death. He then went into the nearby woods and shot himself several hours later. The only survivor was his eldest son Arthur, who was sent on an errand just before the massacre. When the bodies of the Lawson family members were discovered, they were arranged in a peculiar manner with their arms crossed and rocks placed under their heads. The gunshot that signaled Charlie's death was heard by many, who had already gathered at the property having heard of the murders. A police officer who was with Arthur rushed to the location where Charlie had taken his own life. Along with his body, there were letters addressed to his parents, and it appeared that he had been pacing around a tree before taking his own life. Following the murders, some of Charlie's relatives and acquaintances speculated that a head injury he had sustained months before the tragic event may have affected his mental state. However, an autopsy revealed no significant abnormalities in his brain that would explain his sudden violent outburst. In 1990, the book, White Christmas Bloody Christmas, was published, and was the first to mention the possibility of Charlie Lawson sexually abusing his daughter Marie. The claim came from an anonymous source, who heard a rumor during a visit to the Lawson home shortly after the murders. However, it wasn't until the day before the book was to be published, that the author received a phone call from Stella Lawson, a relative who had overheard Fanny's sisters-in-law and aunts discussing how Fanny had confided in them about an incestuous relationship between Charlie and Marie, suggesting that Fanny had been aware of the issue for at least a year before the murders. In 2006, the same author released a follow-up book, The Meaning of Our Tears, which provided new evidence to support the theory of incest within the Lawson family. A close friend of Marie's, Ella May, came forward and revealed that Marie had confided in her, just weeks before the murders, that she was pregnant with her own father's child, and both Fanny and Charlie were aware of this. This shocking revelation has led to speculation that Charlie's decision to murder his family may have been motivated by his desire to keep this secret from getting out. After the murder-suicide, Charlie's brother decided to turn the family home into a tourist attraction, displaying items such as the clothes the family wore on the day of the tragedy, and a Christmas cake baked by Marie. However, visitors started taking raisins from the cake as souvenirs, leading to the cake being placed in a covered glass cake server for preservation. The family members were buried in a private cemetery, while the only survivor of the massacre, Arthur Lawson, died in a car accident in 1945 at the age of 31, leaving behind a wife and 4 children. The tragedy of the Lawson family haunted the town for years, and Lawson's motives for killing his wife, children, and ultimately himself, continued to baffle investigators and the public alike. Some believed it was simply the result of financial difficulties, while others suspected a deeper psychological issue. However, the revelation of the possibility of incestuous relationships has left many to wonder if it was the guilt of such a dark secret that drove Charles to commit such a heinous act.